I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, be with us today as we deliberate the business of the county. Help us, Lord, to keep in mind your guidance and your will for us and the best wishes and the best interests of all the residents of Adams County, Lord. And just ask all these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Steve.
All right, Steve Coon's not here. He's at a conference out west. So,
Not North Dakota.
you know, I know you're a reporter, but I'm not, and I try not to ask too many questions sometimes. So, we are going to look at the minutes from February 6th, 2024. Steve, did you have anything on there?
I have, no, I looked at those and would make a motion to approve.
Okay, I'd second that. Thank you. Tony, thanks you.
Every time somebody's missing, I have to go back to my minutes and correct the names.
I'll watch and make sure you get it all cleaned up.
I usually miss one.
There we go. All right, Tony, what else do you have for us today?
Okay, besides those minutes, someone asked the other day from another department about the holidays for this year. And if you remember, we had discussed back in October about July 5th. And it took a couple weeks to get through. I brought 3 possibilities down and we ended up going with the one where we're going to be open. I had not put that in the minutes though.
Oh, I
For
see.
that day. I've added that to the minutes here where it says legal holidays 2024. I think my plan had been to take the one that you guys agreed on and just go up and put it in. I just completely forgot. But I found it now, so we need to approve, if you will, the amended October 17th, 2023 minutes to reflect those holidays.
Because they do now reflect exactly what we
Yes,
decided.
The holiday list itself is correct. The only thing that was not done is it was not put into the official minutes. So I want to get that done. I'll take these up and the official signed minutes will be put in its proper place in Gateway and we'll be all hunky-dory.
Sure, very good. Okay, I take a motion.
I'll make a motion to reaffirm the changes that were made in what was the date?
October 17th.
October
23.
17th meeting that cleared up the confusion, I guess, that we had over the holidays for 2024.
And approve the amended minutes.
Approve the amended minutes.
Okay, I
And that
second.
would be those.
Well, thanks for catching that, Tony.
Yeah, I had Angie, I said, Angie, I think I forgot to put those in. Can you find them? But now we're good. So
Very good.
that was totally on me. All right. I'll actually have 2 weekly health insurance claims. The first one for Allied weekly health insurance claims is $10,160.16. Of that, medical, $17,464.87, voids, $73,0471, for a total of $10,160.16.
Very good.
Make motion to approve the claims from Allied for $10,160.16.
I'll second that.
And I need to confer with Shannon on something with this. Time out, everybody.
Not yet. Oh, no, he's gonna be found. He's been in North Carolina. It's kind of quiet without Steve here.
I'll tell him he said that.
Here, this is, they've never done this before, but they're showing games. You cannot say hello. You can see all the choices. They haven't done that before. I wanted to confirm with her on that. That makes sense.
Yes.
Did that one get, you already did that, yes? Yep. Okay, the second set of weekly health insurance claims from Allied is in the amount of $58,758.13. 58,758.13. It was 16,944.76 medical. You have prescriptions, 41,232.40, voids of 583.48, and fixed cost of 1164.45, for a total of 58,758.13.
The fixed cost or the administrative costs, right?
We went through this here a while back.
Yeah,
All right.
fixed costs or administrative costs, stop loss.
Because you have that and you have void, you have stop loss, and it's kind of several things combined. It might even say something on there about that, backup withholding or something. It's hard to read those. They send them that small. It's really hard to.
Yeah. They make them color it. I don't see any clarification on the fixed cost, but.
My hands crack open in the cold.
I had sent you guys an email on what the answer was from Allied on
Yeah.
fixed cost. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that was part of it.
I'm sorry, it specifies backup withholding.
And is that on the voids or?
That says fixed cost,
Okay.
$1,164.45, backup withholding.
Okay.
Make motion to approve.
Second that motion.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Now we have, let me make sure there's any more paper. I have two different worker comp things. One is just you're moving the money from one fund into the other fund to be able to pay for the next one that you're going to be approving, okay? The administrative part of, for the renewal of the workers' comp. So you are approving here $150,000 to be moved into the line to pay this. $150,000 for workers' comp, Fund 4701.
I'll take a motion.
I'll make that.
All right, I'll second that.
And then the next one is the actual renewal cost of two Eastern Alliance for workers' comp. And the amount on that is $97,406.
Does it say if that's annual?
It is annual.
All right, I'd take a motion
Make motion to approve.
to approve that claim as presented. I'll second that.
They audit that then at the end of the year and kind of adjust that. Is that the way that works?
They kind of
Well,
look
I
at
think that's,
Or the
why
beginning.
in December we had that lump sum.
Yeah.
I think Doug was here, I think, to discuss that.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep on if you want to. Wait a minute. Yeah. You want to pass that down, the press might want to copy of that too. And what you're looking at is the animal control report from the Sprungers. And the total mileage for January was 179 miles to pick up dogs and cats.
Make a motion to accept the animal control report.
I'll second that.
Okay. And then we have payroll claims. The payroll claims, if you remember, you had given prior approval to the payroll and the accounts payable claims, I think, was that 2 weeks ago or something? As we passed that resolution allowing for that, that Mark and Clayton had worked up. So you are now officially approving the payroll claims in The amount is $376,985.99, $376,985.99 for the payroll claims.
Accept the
Motion
motion.
approved.
I'll second that.
Okay. And then we have official approval also on the accounts payable claims. And that amount is $502,055.74, $502,055.74. You should have gotten those emailed.
Yes.
I think that the one ARPA thing was the biggest thing in there.
Seemed like there was. And then, under commissioners for the Allen County Juvenile Center, that's a once a year payment for the $20,400.
Don't know if that's once a year or not. I would have to ask, Horatio, I'd have to ask Jack that. I don't know if that's annually or quarterly or what it is. I'll look into that though and let you know.
I always forget,
There's several different payments for different things, and some are quarterly, some are biannual, some are annual.
and then under circuit court, they had a invoice from Close and Hitchcock LLP. Is that like a substitute judge, or is that a law firm, Close and Hitchcock? Is that,
Trying to remember because I entered that claim and trying to remember what it was.
because that was 14,000.
It might have been some work that they did over there on something. I don't know that
No,
amount.
Close Hitchcock it's Close Hitchcock LLP.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a law firm in Fort Wayne, so it might have been, what was the invoice for, or the amount?
$14,024.40. So, and that was through circuit court.
Let me message them for you. Close. Because they could have done some work for them, or, I mean, it could be anything. I just don't remember what the invoice said.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with how the court operates to, as far as if they use other attorneys or other judges.
I'll have Bree look it up and get back with me. But while she's doing that, I just need official approval on those.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, I'll second that.
I remember entering that claim, but I just looked closely at the invoices. That's what she does when she balances everything. So.
Yeah.
Okay. We have payroll AP claims, which are the benefits associated with payroll. And the amount on that is $330,604.16. $330,604.16.
Make motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Then we have payroll time card approval, which are the department heads and so forth that you all look at every payroll period.
Have you had a chance to look at those
I have that stand.
time cards?
They're right there if you want to look them over.
Yeah, I've got, I don't have them here, but. When you're done with them, Stan, I'd like to take a look at them before I.
Okay. I don't know whether she emailed those out. I didn't remember seeing those either. She probably didn't. Sorry for the delay, sorry. I'm sure she probably sent those out. I just didn't.
Yeah, I didn't catch them either, Stan, so.
Mike, I don't know when you're coming up. Brad, did you guys have some bid opening today too?
Well, today it's getting okay. We opened them up 2 weeks
Okay.
before.
Okay, then this would all be
Yep.
for Mike. You're not actually up yet, Mike. I'm just giving these to you.
It's a warning order.
Okay.
Be prepared.
It's a lot. I'm on deck.
Take a look at those and.
I told him if any more came in to bring him down, so.
Mike all excited, he thought he was up.
He's bidding on a dump truck a bit, and that's what I didn't realize that.
You guys approved 2 different workers' comp things, right? I got such a list here, making sure I got it all.
Take a motion to approve the payroll time cards.
Okay, I'll second that.
And the final thing that I have today is the USI Insurance Services LLC payment of $9,000. And that is quarterly, I believe. It's the consultant fee. That, let's see. Yeah, I believe that's quarterly, $9,000.
Good. Did you want to look at that, Steve?
No, I'm good with that. Motion to approve.
Second.
Is that a consultant, Tony?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know, okay.
Shannon, do you know if she's coming back in anytime soon?
Yeah, I met with her a couple weeks ago, so I think her goal is either April or May. I told her that I would go over the year-end stuff with you guys, or we can schedule a WebEx with her. I just haven't seen all 3 of you.
And I don't know if there's anything in particular that,
Not really. I
the
mean,
questions that we
I've got
have.
all the year-end stuff that we can look at together if you want to.
Yeah, she's just been real good about bringing us up to speed on everything, so. All right, well, good. Is that everything on your
That's
list?
it.
All right. Anything else for Tony? All right.
Good, Stan, thank you.
Nate, did you have anything for us? Silly question.
Oh, just something quick here.
All right.
Nope. Just want to start with just thanking the guys at the highway department for helping out. I know they just recently finished up having some of the updates in my office, so I think Stan, you were out there recently. Certainly encourage you, Steve, when you get a chance, stop out. Kind of
It's
see
ready, huh?
see what I broke or what I've changed in the
All right.
office, kind of get an idea of the workflow and where I'm keeping things, so. Encourage you to come out, but again, thank you very much to the guys that did kind of extra carpentry work and such to get that stuff set up, so.
Well, they said they mostly appreciated the soundproof door.
Yes, and it's just the crying that goes on in the office, right? No, nothing that bad. Just an update here on your small structures and culvert replacements. Quotes for installation are due on the 22nd. I've actually already received one via email just yesterday. I'm also looking forward to, so hopefully I'll have that and then I can come to you with kind of a recommendation as far as what projects we'll do. Just for the drainage board, you approved the work in the drainage easements. So we're getting closer for the 2024 projects. I did send you emails earlier about possible adjustments in the schedule. So I have the base plan for 24 for small structures. I do have an alternate list of structures that I may go back out for quotes on. That depends a lot on what recommendations you give me as far as kind of making some adjustments. Once I've got the total cost for this year's projects, I'm going to probably come back to you saying, here's one or two different alternatives on how we can use this year's budget or not. Once I've got that, then I need to go back to council because we're going to have to do some transfers to do either or of those options. So that'll kind of depend a little bit on what council will allow me to do as far as moving money around. I'm not looking at additional appropriations, really. I'm just looking at moving money within the budget at this point. So I want to play with the sandbox I've got this year, and then it'll give me a good feel for what we're going to try to do when I develop the budget for 2025. So just kind of an update. This kind of is the start of it, the icebreaker. Once I've got this, then I'll sit down with individually, each of you or one of you, if you'd like, kind of say, is this a plan that you're comfortable with? So that's kind of the plan right now, and I'll know more at the end of this week. The Jefferson Street Bridge, they're off the log jam removal and the debris pile was there. I did notice that Luganville was out last week doing some of the removal. I'm hoping it's all done. I haven't been out there to kind of survey the area yet, but I'm hoping based on what he put in this proposal, it wasn't going to take him a week to do it. So I think
I
he
thought maybe
mobilized
you
to
just
clean
put
that
a
up.
drag line across the river and just.
If only, just a little steep on the one side, so. And we can't use dynamite anymore. I've asked about that, so that's not acceptable, certainly not in town. So
Rules.
so many rules for it.
And back to the good old days.
Yeah, I know what you can get away with back in the day. So you wonder why it's so expensive today. It's more complicated now. Lastly on here, the county crash data, Northeastern Indiana Regional Coordinating Council, NERC, had reached out to, let's say Jeff, but Jerry, just even recently today as well, just kind of emailing back and forth as what the status is. It does look like he'll give me the heat maps yet later this month. I want to go through that with him. Based on his kind of assessment of it right now, there isn't a lot of crash data out in the county. So statistically, some of that data for a local road safety plan may not be valuable. We may have to look at a wider range to kind of look at that. It's bad for the data, but it's actually good for the safety of the roads. So I'm glad to hear that from him, that he doesn't feel like even a 5-year window gives you a lot of impetus as far as where you've got real, truly hot spots as far as improvements. But we may have to look at different types of crashes beyond just injuries and fatalities, which is good. I'm glad to hear that.
One of the things that, you know, in a road that's come to my attention lately is they talk about traffic counters.
Yep.
So is that something that enters into the NERC report at all as far as looking at accident reports plus looking at the amount of traffic on a certain area of the road?
Yeah, so for example, you could say that you have a lot of crashes at an intersection or on a roadway. And 27 would be a good example. There's a lot of crashes on 27. Well, there's also 10 times the vehicles or 100 times the vehicles on it. So when you start looking at the crashes per 1,000 or something like that, you start to normalize that data. You can say, wait a minute, this road that sees 100 cars a day, we have a crash every 2 years. Well, that could be significantly higher per capita than on other roadways. And so I look at that data in conjunction with NERC to try to see, okay, maybe there's something that's here that it shouldn't be. If there were twice as many vehicles on this, you might have even more accidents or issues. So is there something with the roads? Right now, he's saying that based on the 5-year data, he's not convinced that he's got enough data there to make some good recommendations or that our local road safety plan would be sound. So he's looking at different alternatives, and I need to meet with him to kind of go through some of the raw data. And we may need to sit down with the sheriff's office and make sure everything that's going on is getting out of areas like it should be. Because we're only looking at the data that we get from the sheriff and the crash reports that they input, or the state police, or the city police. So they all use the same system. We just need to make sure that the data going in is accurate and that the flags that we're looking for is coming back. So we may need to do a little bit of education internally and make sure that we're putting in like we need to, so that I can present reports to you publicly, and then we can come up with policies that are sound.
Did you indicate that right now we're not really looking at just the property damage accidents, just looking at injuries and fatalities?
Yeah, right now it's looking at injuries and fatalities. Those top two, those are the big points that everybody can remember. You know, you remember the loss of a family member or someone being injured. If we start looking at different property damage, crashes, that's going to expand the scope. So we'll start to see more information from that as we get the local road safety plan. Maybe nobody died, but somebody's vehicle was totaled.
I wonder if that really is
That
where you're
might-
going to get your help from.
Yeah, correct. It just depends on where do we set the bar to pull the data. So if you move it too far, your data may blow up and you've got a lot more information to sift through. So, and that may be where we need to be as far as the sort of crashes that we're dealing. So we're settling in on what that number is. And then when we're getting a little bit farther along, then we'll start presenting different options or draft versions of that.
Good.
And when it gets close to public consumption, we'll put a draft report together. I'll give it to you. We can put it on the website, open it up for some comments and kind of just draft reviews. And then before you actually would adopt something like that.
That would even be tough to separate out accidents due to road conditions versus accidents due to operator
Correct. And-
inattention or distraction or.
Yep. So what we'll end up doing with this, we're not going to sit there and assume blame for anything. We're not going to put it on the roads. We're not going to put it on the drivers necessarily. We're going to look at this fairly sterilely and say, here's the crashes and here's where they're at. That's all we care about. You know, what is the conditions, circumstances, and then look for common factors between it. And then what we'll do is look at what reaction does the county want to have, right? So do we want to adjust county road construction standards?
Yeah.
You know, is there something unique about this that we want to change and make? What types of crashes are happening in the county, and what can we do from a policy standpoint to limit the potentiality for that?
Sure.
We're not going to go out there and say this road has to be done right now. It's going to be a much softer approach to that. That way you're not targeting different locations, right?
I think that will help us look and see. It just gives you a reason to take a closer look at a particular area of our roads, whether it's an intersection or whatever it is, see if there's something that we need to work on.
Well, and the benefit too is when you come to a county highway and you say, hey, we need to do something with this road, or when a citizen comes to you and says, you have to do something to this road right now. Okay, why? And then what are we going to do? Well, what are we going to do comes out of your safety plan. You know, these are the minimum things we need to be doing and why we're doing it. And then when you're asking for right of way or you're widening a road or adding a shoulder, why are you doing those things? Well, because these features and these additions to our county roads, yes, we didn't do this in the 1950s or 50s, 70s. I'm starting to get old, so the 50s sound like a long time ago. Well, my graduation date sounds really long now too, since my kids. So, but we may not have done those things in the past, but it's because we need to make some adjustments because traffic, transit, farm and agricultural, those have all changed somewhat. And here are some subtle changes that we need to try to incorporate into our road network, into the bridge system too. I mean, we talk about bridges. Well, there's a lot of narrow bridges out there. So when we're going to go from a 21-foot wide bridge to a 32-foot wide bridge or 28, why? Well, this gives us some of that justification as to why.
Yeah.
I can say it's a good idea, but that doesn't carry a lot of weight to someone who doesn't think it is, right? Then it becomes a me and them issue.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I appreciate that because I've always felt like the county roads are one of our main priorities, just because if we don't take care of them, nobody else will.
no, it's a good priority and it sets a fairly standard document about here's the reality of it. We can talk about what's safe and not safe. Here is the actual numbers behind it, and here is the reaction plan that the county has. And then we seek funding for those sort of improvements and why we do those things.
Well, and, and I look at our bridge sufficiency rating and, it being one of the top counties in the whole state, and that's something I'm proud of.
Yep. Nope. Tim did very good work for the county. I'm certainly proud of what he did, and it's my goal to sustain that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. All right. Brad, Paul? Oh, I think these are yours.
I don't have one. Thanks for you guys. How about that? I have that. I don't have that one.
So the first thing, oh, morning, by the way.
Morning.
Beautiful sunshiny day. It's gonna be warm today. It's awesome.
Maybe we should open the curtains.
Yeah, well, you don't blind anybody.
Or if it's true.
So the first thing we'll discuss today, while Paul's handing that stuff out, is I have one permit from Indiana Michigan Power. They are going to provide electric service to grain bins. It is on County Road 700 South between Highway 27 and County Road 000. And basically what they're doing is somebody's gonna put up some grain bins, so they gotta get across the road to get power over the other side.
Gotcha.
It's pretty simple, couple poles, so Paul went and looked at it and didn't see any issues.
Motion approved.
Second. I assume they just bore that.
Yeah, that'll work. They'll probably, I think they're gonna put a pole on the other side, so.
See that before you give it back.
Thank you. And then the next thing we have, 2 weeks ago, we opened up the bids for the trailer, and the skid loader and mini. Here it goes. So on the mowers, as you can kind of see there, we went through everything. Paul and I both looked at them. Ripley Farm Equipment was low bidder for the mower. They're out of Columbia City, correct? Yes.
What was their, are they a low bid?
Yes, they are low bid.
What's the amount?
No.
I should give you, sorry, Mark.
You want me to read them all?
Yep.
So the bids were Paul Ball Equipment, $31,000. All Brothers Inc., $42,100. Ripley Farm Equipment, $30,284.36. And Technology International, $31,800.
They're all qualifying bids, I assume.
Yeah, it's all the same mower, same.
Make a motion to approve the low bid from Rupley Farm Equipment of $30,284.36.
I assume that's the one you're recommending.
Yes, correct.
I'd second that motion.
Okay, now the skid loader and mini excavator. True Land Equipment, total for both. You want me to read them each separately? The mini and the skid loader, or total price?
Yeah, you might as well go through it.
Okay. All right, True Land Equipment and the mini excavator, $101,009.89. For the skid loader, $104,847.92. For a total of $205,857.81. And if you look over there to the right, then, we had talked about doing a yearly trade. And so for the year, 1 year, 250 hours, trade in for both. For both of them, it was $8,500 per year. McAllister Machinery out of Fort Wayne. The mini was $101,800.02. $101,800.02. Their skid loader, $94,976.27. $94,976.27. For a total of $196,776.29. And they do not offer the yearly trade.
Are these skid loaders gold plated?
Nope.
It's diamonds on the gear shift and stuff.
Nope. And these are, I wouldn't, are these a mid-size? They're not the largest,
They're not.
and they're not the smallest. They're kind of, yeah,
For their track
They're
loaders?
track,
Track,
yeah.
they are track, correct?
Yep.
Any attachments with it?
Yes.
That's what all the attachments we asked for, that's the total for everything. We asked for a couple different buckets for the mini, and then a grapple bucket for the skid loader, and also an asphalt mill and a set of forks.
No, no wonder.
Gotcha, okay.
Those don't come cheap, I bet.
Yeah,
do they?
that-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't come with all the stuff you have to.
And the yearly trade is just for the machine, not all the attachments. So,
Is that like an 800, is that like the old 800 series size?
no, it's only a 74 horse skid loader.
Really?
You want to buy it? You want me to hook you up with it?
That just means that my old one's worth a lot more than I thought it was.
Bobcat of Fort Wayne for the mini, $84,223.60. $84,223.60. Skid loader, $92,902.16. $92,902.16. For a total of $177,125.76. $177,125.76.
so is Truland and McAllister, is that?
I'm sorry, True Land is John Deere.
John Deere.
And McAllister's capital.
Yes.
That's for both. Yeah. It's like, that's trading motors. That's right.
And Bobcat's 1-year trade-in for both is $4,500.
So help me understand when you say 1-year trade-in, what do we?
So at the end of, whenever we would get the machine, in 1 year, we can trade it for that much money and have a new machine of each. So we'll have a new skid loader and a new mini for that much money every year, but we'll always have a new one and it'll never run out of warranty.
Wow.
Wow, that sounds like a deal.
That's,
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and they put in the 250 hours and the 750 hours, because we don't know where that's gonna fall.
Yeah.
We're guesstimating where it's at, so we don't.
Yeah,
It's really interesting.
yeah.
New Spawn Mechanical LLC for the mini. I'm sorry, and I should say those are Gale
Well, the
and
Yanmar,
the Yanmar.
The minis a Gale?
the minis.
Minis of the Yanmar. The mini, $90,341. $90,341. For the Gale skid loader, $100,465. $100,465. For a total of $190,000, $190,806. $190,806.
Are any of those attachments proprietary to John Deere or Cat or Bobcat?
They all offer.
Because I know at one time John Deere kind of had a special attachment system of their own. I don't know if the rest of these were.
Now, I mean, yeah, they all have those attachments, but most of the time you can't take one and put it on a different kind of, if that's what.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no, you cannot go from one brand to another, normally.
So if you ended up with a Bobcat skid loader and then a couple of years down the road you changed to a Cat skid loader, you could keep
That
the
stuff
same.
should.
On the bucket of the skid loader should, yes.
Gotcha.
And their trade there was the 1 year, 750 hours, 11,700 for the mini, and 10,785 for the skid loader.
So are we definitely recommending doing both as a package deal?
Yes.
Okay.
So after looking at everything, and like I said, Paul and I both went through these, Paul went through them with a magnifying glass, and then I went over them again, we checked, make sure all the figures were correct, and what we come up with, they were correct. And so we would recommend Bobcat at Fort Wayne.
Because they're the lowest.
They're the lowest responsive and responsible bidder.
So you'd be just as happy with a Bobcat set of equipment as you would a John Deere or a Cat set of equipment?
They're all pretty equal
They would do the
for the
same.
most part. We're not gonna have them, if we can trade every year, put that in our budget line to trade every year, they're never gonna be out of warranty. So the longevity of them won't really matter to us one way or the other.
Okay.
We'll be getting rid of them before they're even close to being wore out.
Yeah, that'd be something, putting that in your budget for $4,500 a year and having a brand new set of equipment.
And then, obviously, prices are gonna go up.
Yeah.
But that's at least what the first year will be.
Well, they say that, what they say is that the price of them going up and then the price of the used goes up.
Yeah, the price of the
So-
used, like Mark was saying too, your used ones become more valuable as the price of the new ones
And
go
this
up.
allows them to stay in warranty all the time?
Correct.
I like
It'll
I
never
like
be
the
out of
thought of
warranty.
that.
And you know how it's getting to be on all this new stuff to work on it, so.
So with some of the work that you're intending for the mini and the skid loader, was some of that stuff that we had subcontracted out? or brought in,
It's
or
what we,
we're just not able to do?
What our pipe crew does.
Yeah.
It's for our pipe crew, because they run a backhoe now. And a backhoe isn't
When-
extremely handy.
when you're trying to cross a
the
road.
Right.
or when you're trying to dip a side ditch.
All right. Well, so at this point, I'd accept a motion.
The funding for this is already in place.
We budgeted for it, yes.
Make a motion to accept the bid from Bobcat of Fort Wayne as the lowest bid for package of the mini excavator and the skid loader for a total of $177,125.76.
Okay. All right, I'd second that motion. Well, I appreciate the research on that, and hopefully that's gonna make a,
Do we want to deal with the annual trade also on that? I didn't really include that in my motion. I'd like to
Oh,
make that,
yes.
I'd like to make that a
Correct.
separate motion if
Yes.
that's okay.
Yes.
I'd make a
that's
motion, that we would accept the annual trade-in proposal from Bobcat of Fort Wayne, depending upon the hours, either $4,500 or $12,500, depending on the hours that you use the equipment.
okay, I'd second that.
I guess.
Which that will be a decision made after 1 year's use.
I
Correct.
would assume,
Yeah.
yeah, we can renew that thought annually, and if
And that- yeah, that's
it's
another
not
thing.
working out, we can walk away from that.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Okay,
That is correct. Yeah, I should have said that too. Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good work.
Yeah.
All right, the only other, I have a few other things, just informational. Set time here, buggy plate sales will start March 1st through May 15th. Those are the same dates we've used for years. So March 1st through May 15th.
What do they cost?
$120.
120.
Also informational, this is the time of year we also do our oil bids for chip and seal and dust control.
Back to buggy plate.
Oh, sorry.
Is that, a renewed plate and or a new plate for a new buggy? I mean, cause if they have to get the sticker. the
Yeah,
registration,
it's either one, renewal or a new
It
plate.
doesn't make any difference
No.
which one they're doing.
Nope.
How many last year were sold, roughly?
700.
2,700 roughly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
March 19th is the date we have set to open oil bids, which, we do that every spring. And it's being advertised and we've let the companies know, so open in March 19th. And then one other thing, the annual operations report is almost done. It's being finalized, so we will bring that, it should be next week. We'll bring it in for you gentlemen to take a look at and then take under advisement and sign at some point in time.
Good deal. Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Well, very good. You have any questions for them?
Nope, I'm good. Good work, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we get there. Yep, there we go. Hiding in the back corner. Morning, Rick.
Hi, guys.
Thought that was your passport there. I thought you were kidding.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's in my pocket. I need more. Just an update. Last week, the fire marshal was in, walked this building pretty thoroughly. He just called me before I got in here. I gotta sign something. He'll give me that report. But his biggest findings were extension cords and multiple plug-ins.
Now, is this a state fire marshal or is this our fire inspector from
Adams County.
Adams County? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, going back to the extension cords. The key word, no extension cords. They gotta be power strips and not a power strip plugged into a power strip. And not those multiple adapters in the receptacle. That was really some of the biggest findings. We were good on our fire extinguisher check, our emergency lights. I have sheets that we go around every month and check those off, so that was all good. One thing that he wanted, this inspection hadn't been done since even before COVID. They haven't did one. Probably after this, they'll go to I'm sure we're gonna go to the courts.
Okay.
He also needed, the fire alarm emergency communication inspection, which what that consists of is the pull down alarms, the smoke detectors, the heat sensors, the fire doors.
Does he check sprinklers?
Well, they won't, that's a separate test, and that's
Okay.
only over at the courthouse.
Gotcha.
But this same type of test we will do at circuit court. Superior doesn't have one. Anyway, that test was conducted yesterday, just so no one was in here to do that. The only place it hasn't been detected, or tested, I should say, pickleball was going on in the gymnasium, but they're so high in there, we'd have to get a lift in here to test those sensors. That's the only area as of right now. I'm gonna see what he says about that, but along with that being said, some of our smoke detectors are just, they all worked. Everything worked, but they're a little bit out of calibration. That could be probably dust, so forth. It's something you didn't really want to mess with cleaning them, so I kind of got a count of what ones we found. There's approximately, we'd like to change maybe 14 of them. And then the batteries in the main control alarm system that comes through, the batteries were 2018. They work, but I think we need to update it.
Yeah.
We need to get some new ones in it.
So those smoke detectors, do they need maintenance? I mean, do they need pulled and blown out once in a while or what?
Well, Gene said it's just one of those things. They're older, they've worked, and they still work.
Yeah.
Every one of them's working. They're just, he said you go messing with them, and then the next thing you know, they're going off all the time.
Oh,
It's just- That's how sensitive they are.
yeah.
To change the ones that we detected, I don't want to say bad, but we feel should be changed.
Out of calibration.
Yeah, that estimate cost is $1,500 to $2,000, and that's with those two batteries that I need for the control unit. So I'd like to go forward with that. I mean, I'd like to get that done. But
Is that out of 1138 or is that
I'll
out
take it out 1138.
Yeah.
So
for
approximately
the,
$1,500 to $2,000.
yeah.
We do have money in there.
Yeah.
Going forward, once I get this report, I'm gonna pick it off one by one where these things were found, such as extension cords, and some of them may have already taken care of it. But when I get that report, I'm gonna go around and we'll probably have about 30 days to get this fixed.
Kind of double check.
Yeah. So
Will there be a reinspection involved, or do you just have to
he
affirm
will
that?
come back in. He's, like I said, approximately 30 days. He'll be back in. And I'll find that out later here when he brings the report over. So that's where we are with that. I would like to, if you would, I think it puts more teeth into it. Eventually, we're gonna go to the other two buildings. I don't know if you guys can put something out. Extension cords are a dirty word, you know? Check everything you have, no extension cords, we need power strips. We can maybe send an email out. I mean, I could do it, but I think it's better if you guys can.
What if we direct you to do it?
That's up to you.
Then you can reference commissioner's direction in there.
But anyway.
You know, and just whether the letter, you know, comes from you and it is authorized or signed by us, just regarding a recent fire inspection, you know, extension cords are found to be an electrical hazard that may result in
And everybody was
fire
good about
damage.
it. We entered the office.
And, you know, we all know that. It's just too easy to plug an extension cord in when you need one.
It's-
We all know they're bad,
Yeah.
So,
but I use them.
So, yeah, however you want to do that, I mean,
okay.
we would certainly support that. You know, we just have to be very, very clear what the difference is between a surge protector and an extension cord. Somebody's gonna
It's really,
transcript. Question is, any progress on the doors between the gym and the offices?
it's ordered.
Okay.
The hardware is ordered, so it's just a matter of time.
So they'll use the same doors, they'll just flip them around, put different hardware on.
Yeah, and I did put the egress fire on that too, just. We didn't have to do that, but added that to it. So, that is ordered.
No more word on the generator, we're just waiting.
Well, as of now, it's April 1st or 2nd. I've not heard anything different. So that's, yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I don't know if I said anything to you or not, maybe I did, but Rick went with us and we went with Shelley Brighton and Jamie, and just looked through the whole building, looked at all the record storage, looked at the courthouse storage, looked at the storage and burn, and so just to kind of get an overview from all of us of where we're at, what we've got, what space we have, and just kind of to help planning, I guess.
And I
So I
do,
appreciate you going and doing that with us.
I do believe since, and I think the assessors went and got their stuff.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
From,
Yes, we department helped them out.
Yeah,
and they got it from,
Geneva Library.
oh, okay. Okay. Good.
So put it up there in their mind.
Okay. That's one of the urgent things is if we can find place for storage so we don't have to use the basement down there, we don't have to pay that fee, so, all right. Well, good. Thanks for helping Shelley with that. So, okay.
Obviously, that fire department inspection is an important thing, and if extension cords are a big thing, but obviously, we're doing a good job on doors and alarm systems, and so just thank you and keep up the good work.
Okay, guys.
All right. Ed, do you have anything for us?
Couple quick things. Morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Ed.
3 weeks ago, I came before you on the new federal specifications on credit card consoles. And we have 2 credit card readers in the office on the counters. Those are all installed.
Everything is done very properly. Rick helped get the cabling, the contractors to get in here, and they expedited all that.
Because they had to run separate cables for
Yes,
those, right?
all brand new cables, all from the server room all the way up to my office under the cover. And they did that and did it very well. The 2 credit card readers were installed, certified, security enabled, tested, and they're all properly running. We've already taken payments. I'd like to thank Rick once again, and then also Mike Brown and the IT staff, especially Bob Hanks, who really pushed this through. I was concerned personally that I wanted to have this done in plenty of time before tax season. And I'm a full 6 weeks ahead of schedule, and they're done.
So will these machines have anything to do with taking payment on the website?
No,
No, nothing to do with that.
just go straight to the vendor and company. I mean, the money flows through there, but no, this is just for the people that come to the office to pay the credit card or debit card.
Gotcha.
Okay? But Bob Hakes went over and above. He was good on making sure that I knew what I needed to know as a department head. But a lot of that stuff was way above my knowledge base as far as the security things and stuff. But we're all set. Everybody in the country is going to have to do this eventually. And I just feel good that we're way ahead of the curve on that. The other thing I have is we continue working with L&D Mailmasters, who is the vendor who prepares and prints and mails our tax statements. Everything's online there. They will be mailed out Friday, April the 5th. So everybody will get them a full month before they're due on May the 10th. So we're in good shape.
Thanks, Ed. Good.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ed. All right, Mike? You probably wanted to buy something too.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
Would you like to have a seat?
I will, I'm gonna pass these up. So.
Sorry, Paul is my number one advisor. So.
He knows about buying stuff.
Sir.
He does it every month. This is probably the only time.
It's not quite done. You want it?
Your month.
I just want the finished product next week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, do you want me to read them and you write them, or
No.
it don't matter?
No matter.
It looks like you sharpen your knife, so you're good there.
Either way, you want me to write now?
It don't matter.
I'll write them.
Okay, there's 2 different pages there. We kind of split stuff up because he's doing a truck chassis, dump bed, and then the trailer. It's all separate, so we might be jumping around as different people come in and have their bids here. So. Looks to me like this is for the trailer from Indiana Trailer Sales.
Where's it from?
Indiana Trailer Sales.
What city?
Decatur,
Decatur.
Fort Wayne, right here on 13th Street.
After non-collusion.
I don't know what the difference is between the front page and
The back one should be the trailer.
the back one.
Yeah,
It
you
says
see
dump-
on the front page says dump truck chassis, and on the next set of blocks it says.
Oh,
dump
gotcha,
truck
there
bed.
you go. All right, sorry about that.
Yeah,
It's a trailer.
you're right. Okay. Looks to me like the bid is for $46,580.
That's for the truck.
That's for the trailer from Indiana Trailer Sales. $46,589. Next one. Looks like W.A. Jones for the dump body. Got their non-collusion sheet.
Yeah, it's for the bed.
That's for the bed from W.A. Jones.
Bid and installation.
And installation, yes.
Where's Jones from?
Columbia City.
Columbia City.
It looks to me like it's $36,118. $36,118. This is for the truck chassis from Selkings International here in Decatur. Spec sheet.
See, in the past, haven't we had,
Non-collusion.
had an issue with, international engines? Wasn't that something that we kind of avoided, that we expected?
Yes.
Didn't want?
Yep.
Is that the case here or not?
We spec'd it in such a way, we'll have to go back, obviously, like we normally do for the highway department, take them under advisement and go back and check and see what it looks like there. Okay, it looks like $93,681.43. $93,681.43. Moser Motors, this would be for the chassis.
Yeah.
Schnetzenberg.
I know that one. There's something to it, I didn't know the others.
Got the non-collusion. And respects. Looks to me like this total is $87,439.14. $87,439.14.
87, 439.
From Stoops.
Where's it from?
Stoops in Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne.
Okay, I think he's got a couple different sets.
And that's for the chassis?
This is for the chassis.
I think he has
I
two
think he's
different GVWs.
Yep.
I have another one coming out with.
Oh, you got another,
Different
okay, it's
GVW.
separated, okay, I wasn't sure if it was the same guy. So this would be for a Freightliner from Stoops at $96,540. $96,540.
Non-collusion.
Non-collusion's in there, sorry.
So what was the GVW?
That was the 37. This is the 35,000 GVW from Stoops. Also a Freightliner. $95,903. $95,903. So we're needing the big trailer.
Mosher's was gonna include a trade-in.
No, I mean trailer. Trailer.
No, so,
You didn't do a trailer.
yes.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we sent the trailer out to,
Okay, so Indian Trail sounds good.
W. Jones didn't do a trailer.
No. Nope.
Okay.
So we'd like for you to allow Courthouse to take these under advisement. I can come back with you next week, and so we got time to go over the specs and make sure everything meets our priorities and.
Very good. I take a motion to, take bids under advisement.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get more bids on it.
They were sent out
Yeah. Okay.
in the notice.
That's just 1 week, right, Paul? That's when we come back next weekend.
Yeah, we'll come back next week to award it.
Paul, anything about those bids that would cause concern?
The GVW is probably gonna be one we're gonna look at close, and the minimum horsepower, because that's gonna be a 14-foot bed on there. So it's gonna have lower sides, so it makes it easier for them guys to, so they don't have to get in and out of the bed of the truck all the time.
Yeah.
And they're pulling that backhoe with that big trailer, and it's gonna be a new trailer. For being a single axle, that's a lot of work, so we're gonna really pay attention to GVW horsepower, because we don't wanna work it to death. I mean, no more often than these guys get a trade, we want to make sure they got something to last them.
One bid on the bed and one bid on the trailer, I guess. Just need to make sure that we don't need to go back to the well if those don't appear to be in line based on your experience.
Right.
Yeah,
as long as they meet specs and they're the only responsible bidder, I think that's okay.
Of course, if you would come back and say, hey, I think we could reject them all and go and rebid.
Yeah.
That's another option.
Mhm.
I certainly would rather have 2 or 3 to look at versus one.
Yeah.
Causes me to be a little concerned.
Wow, how many places did you send it out to, Mike? You sent it out to quite a few.
Yeah.
each of them.
Yeah.
We did, yeah. It was sent out to a lot and it was in the notice.
Well, everyone that was on the paper got.
Yeah,
got
all
a bid
in
packet
on the
for
paper.
everything.
The trailer will be similar to what we have, different brand. It's about the same.
Sounds good.
Truck and the bed will be different.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
We'll look at them and see what you think.
Mike, then you want to bring up something about cell phone?
Okay, yes, thanks. So one other item, quick item, in the drainage board, I requested a cell phone for our maintenance crew. And Steve was on the drainage, or Steve sits on the drainage board. The guys are using their private phones for this, to contact the landowners when they go out to a site. And they're getting a lot of calls back on their private phones, so. Mike is good with setting up a cell phone, but the commissioners should give approval recommendation for it.
Shannon, any thoughts on that, adding cell phones for the crew?
We haven't I haven't written you guys a cell phone policy yet, so I don't know if you want to wait on that and I can try to whip it out the next couple of weeks, or if you just want to do this another one as a one-off.
So would this be as part of a fringe? Or
Cell
how,
phones were taken off of fringe benefits in, I think, 2016 by the IRS, so we no longer charge for cell phones. We
okay.
just pay more outright.
And I don't think Mike, though, is proposing it be a cell phone that they use for anything other than.
Yeah.
Right. Just for work
You
hours.
even
for
mentioned
training.
it might just stay in the truck. It might
Correct.
not
In
even
the
go
truck
home
or
with
in the
anybody.
office,
So that really dials it into being totally just a tool at
It
that
wouldn't be
point.
a replacement for either of the employees' cell phones, it would be just a phone that's kind
Sure.
of dropped in the truck.
And the drainage board did recommend
Drainage
approval.
board recommends.
Yeah, so,
Commissioners.
well, I'd make a motion to approve that.
I'll second that. So
All right?
Thank you.
doesn't take pressure off heavy on the cell phone policy though, Shannon.
Did I forget anything else?
No, sorry, I just didn't want you to forget.
I had it wrote down on sheet.
Clayton, it's the reason we keep you young guys around.
Does that vote unanimous for the drain board, unanimous vote for the drain?
I don't know if it was unanimous, but it passed. I think it was unanimous.
I'll make that.
There's only 2 here.
How big is that board?
What?
There's 2 commissioners and the 3.
No, the drainage.
He was talking about the drainage
Oh, the
board.
drainage board, okay.
Which I don't know.
It was either unanimous or anonymous, one of those.
I'll spell it, yeah.
Mark, did you have anything for us?
Just not the report.
Okay, good. How's it going? Thank you.
We'll start this year than last.
Okay. What you doing with your spare time?
It's 5 miles west of Geneva on 116. When, right before I came here, I'm like, uh-oh, I hope they're running behind. And you were. I knew I was gonna push it.
Yeah.
Sun coming out the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Basements are going in. Footings are going in.
The ground pretty dry.
Yeah. But
The
the
wind
winds,
really haven't had that much moisture.
we didn't have that much moisture, and then we keep getting wind when it seems to break, and then that dries up the top. It's been
I think
nice.
that river only came up a little bit one time a few weeks ago.
So things are going okay, Mark?
Things are going well.
Good.
Did you have more snow in the southern part of the county than up here?
We did. Yeah, a little bit more. Pretty much gone now.
Have we been getting any reports in on the nuisance ordinance at all? Or,
The nuisance ordinance doesn't go to me, so I don't know.
so
I
nothing?
got cut out of it.
Oh,
You guys had all the complaints going to the health department and sheriff's department. Health
okay.
Yeah, I got it from Pat, so I'll print it off here and so you guys can review it. It's something that have to be adopted by the commissioner.
He asked about the nuisance you're talking about.
I'm talking about unsafe building ordinance, sorry.
Building.
Oh,
So I don't know what you were asking, but. the
Sorry,
nuisance one did a while back.
Yeah.
I jumped ahead.
so as far as the unsafe building,
That's something we're working on too, yes.
okay.
We want to bring that in front of you guys here real shortly.
Is that something, do we coordinate with like Geneva and Vernon and Decatur, or do they have their own?
They have to write their own.
Okay,
Bern has their own. It's derived from the state, and you can just take the states and just say, we adopt this. But most people don't do that. They tweak it to make it their own. They use the bulk of it, but you tweak it. So that's what we're doing. We can't find any records that we've ever actually adopted anything. So
oh,
to actually act on any homes, like there's one that caught fire on 224 just west of Decatur. Probably never going to be repaired. And to do anything about that, this needs to be in place so that we can do what needs to be done in the future. Also, one other thing that will need to be established is an actual fund. There's no line item funding in any budget anywhere for that. There does need to be some funding established.
to accommodate the ordinance.
Yes, because if, you know, you have to go through the whole thing and actually raise a home or raise a building because of it being in disrepair, then we have to use that fund to take it down. It doesn't have to be a huge amount, but, you know, maybe 10 or 20 to start with. And if it's not even used every year, you just maybe put 5 more in every year and just get it up to a number that it would always be there.
I thought we had established a fund to accommodate the nuisance ordinance, but.
Probably did, but you'll have to, yeah, we just create a fund. We'll have Tony's office create the fund, and it's a non-reverting fund. And then any fines or any, monies collected through that ordinance goes into that fund.
Because there's a 37501 maintenance property that would put 10,000 in. And I think that's probably what that line item is for. Just-
No.
we had to do
I believe we
cleanup
wanted
for
to
that.
start sliding.
I'm thinking, yeah. Okay. Well, if we get that ordinance passed and need to accommodate it, then we'll look at that. So,
Well, we should have that shortly.
I've got it. I'm
Mark
not-
and Pat are talking about it.
Yep.
We're looking at it. Megan's looking at it. We're at red line. I think it's pretty close.
very good.
Got some more changes to make before I print it and send it to them.
Enter it into record,
I
yeah.
think it's pretty close, but I don't know that we ever had a full conversation with everybody to say it's done. I guess I don't know that yet.
Okay, all right.
And then you're still helping out with Council on Aging's building.
Yep.
Thank you very much
Talked
for
to
that.
the We sent an email, it took them about a week to get back with me, I talked to the person that was doing the drawings, and they're gonna tweak some things for me, and then I'll get it out to bid.
Very good. We did close on that property, so that is ours now. So if we need to make any adjustments to, the buildings there or whatever,
And the one building still comes down, right? One
that's what I understand.
apartment. or whatever.
So that'll have to be determined by where that new building's located and how it's located, how the ingress and egress are gonna be, so, yeah. Yeah, very good. Thank you for doing that.
Thanks, Mark.
You can't vote on that?
I make a motion to accept Mark's monthly report.
Okay, I'll second that.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Clayton, did you have something for us?
Really, I just wanted to put it on the agenda to kind of begin discussions. It's previously been discussed, and brought up that the, equine drawn vehicles, or what we currently call buggy plate licensing fees, has remained at $120 now for some years, which is drastically lower than many of the counties with high, with populations and with roadways that are affected by equine drawn vehicles. So really just wanted to start that discussion. I think most importantly, because if we can start this discussion and I can possibly, or our office can prepare, if we come to any at least possible or proposed changes, I can go and create a pamphlet that we can then approve maybe next week, so that the ladies, when they're issuing the licensing fees and the licenses for this year, a pamphlet will be included to notify the Amish community that these are possible changes, and if they want to come voice their opinions, they can come and speak at any of our regularly scheduled meetings. And obviously, any actual change would have to be in the form of an ordinance, as it was before. So a public hearing will have to take place related to that ordinance anyway before it's adopted.
So obviously, there will not be any changes for this buggy plate season.
Correct. Correct.
I mean, I'm assuming that any changes, any ordinance, any communication would be put out there to affect 2025.
Correct. Yeah. So, and I think it'd been previously discussed. So really the questions I had for you is if you guys had any numbers for an increase to throw around right now. I also think it would be prudent to continue discussion, and it doesn't have to be done today, but a lot of the counties that have implemented the use of rubber lining or rubber tires on equine drawn vehicles, I've seen a drastic decrease in the damage equine drawn vehicles do to the roadways, thus prolonging the roadways. So possibly maybe an incentive of some type within the licensing fee, where if an individual or owner has rubber lining or rubber tires, they would possibly pay a different or lower price than an individual or owner of an equine drawn vehicle with simply the steel or wood tires. That's going to cause more damage. And as of right now, again, that pamphlet doesn't, I mean, really this was to open up discussions, and so you were all thinking about it. Obviously, anything specific, if we want to put in the pamphlet, we can. But really, it's more of just a opening of discussion, and then next week I'd ask for the approval if we come up with a pamphlet, so that can be sent out and have the community come in and voice any concerns or opinions they have on the matter.
I know the last time this was discussed, were we all three on council at that time? It was when the wheel tax was instituted.
Yeah, I wasn't.
And we had meetings, evening meetings in Monroe, evening meetings in Byrne. You remember that, Steve. So it was quite a lot of attendance, let's just say that. And we met the fairgrounds in Monroe here and at the senior center in Bern. That was all connected to the wheel tax being implemented.
Mhm.
I certainly think it would be great if we could begin some collaboration with the Amish community about how they can help us and we can help them basically think about better ways to, that might be healthier for our road system anyway. And things that might be acceptable to them, and whether that's rubber linings on the wheels or whatever that is, I think that's helpful if we can just begin the dialogue.
Are there two ways of doing this? Either a rubber cover over the tire or else an actual rubber tire? Are there two ways, Clayton, of doing that?
I don't know the complete ins and outs of it.
It's still being, we're still doing some research, just looking at different options.
Correct.
That's all it is right now at this point.
Yeah.
But now
There's-
they're all iron, are they, or steel, or what?
I think generally most equine drawn vehicles are either steel or wood, wheels.
Combination of.
A combination of both.
Wood wheels with
With
the,
the
yeah,
steel
steel.
lining or something.
Yeah.
So
So we're gonna have discussion about the Amish vehicles, is that what it is, or?
Any horse-drawn vehicle, correct?
Horse-drawn.
I mean, that would be, the previous ordinance, it was horse-drawn vehicle. I think it's prudent now to change that to equine-drawn vehicle,
Equine drawn vehicle?
because sometimes I think the verbiage of horse has gotten thrown around, that there are certain animals that pull those
You
vehicles
said-
that are not horses. So-
You made a comment about the licenses too, there've been 120 for a long time.
Correct.
Since 2018.
I just
27.
wondered if we should,
27.
are we gonna have this discussion next week then, and
probably continue the discussion.
Probably, I would hate to have this discussion in our meeting without Commissioner Kuhn here, because in his district, he deals much more so with the
what I
Amish
was thinking, if
population.
we shouldn't have just a little something in our stories to let the Amish know that people with horse-drawn vehicles know this is gonna be discussed.
Well, and obviously, there's several things we know that the Amish do things for reasons that are important to them.
So
And
that's
some people
why I,
expect that, but the other thing, that as we look at maintenance of the roads, there's a direct cause and effect for them having steel wheels instead of rubber wheels. And that's, with between their wheels and the horse's shoes, they put troughs in the road and those need more maintenance.
this
Yeah.
came up, Steve, didn't it, in discussion about the Amish were discussing about room for their.
Yeah.
So this came up in our discussion about.
So, I mean, when we have the discussion, we're not gonna ask them to do anything that they're not comfortable with.
Yeah,
But, by being able to incentivize them through buggy plate fees, that may make it more, it may make it easier for them to make a decision and see why we're doing what we're doing. Because I had understood at one time that even though a buggy is relatively light compared to a car, since there's such a small wheel, they actually put more pounds per square inch on the road with a steel buggy wheel than.
so it
a car
would be,
can.
I'm not trying to agendize this meeting, but it'd be all right to put in, that there's gonna be some discussion considering improvements for horse-drawn vehicles.
Well, I think right now, the most important thing is that all the commissioners are doing is saying that they're gonna put together an information pamphlet to go out with this year's registration for 2024 buggy plates, just letting the Amish community know that
Okay.
for 2025, the commissioners are gonna consider changing the fees and also want to discuss the possible implementation of, a tiered structure for steel wheels versus ones lined with rubber. But for 2024, the important thing is the fees aren't going up for 2024. They're the same. So there's no reason to, start a panic that the commissioners have increased the rates for 2024. They haven't. It's
And the
just,
last increase was 2017, right?
That's correct.
So,
Correct.
7 years
So-
ago, yeah.
basically,
But in it, you're gonna be working on a pamphlet,
yes,
concerning discussion for possible changes in 2025.
yes, the pamphlet's gonna just alert them. It's a year in advance notice that the base fees are probably going to go up for 25, but we also want to include in the discussion, possibility of, utilizing rubber line tire or rubber line wheels. And so it's just, this is a year in advance notice. And so the commissioners aren't going to make a decision on 2025 fees at this next meeting. Or
I'm not making this a headline story. I
so,
just wanted to see how, if maybe I should work in just a paragraph or two that they know that
sure.
there's some plans in the works.
And, and next week, if we have a letter finalized that's going to go out with the 24 buggy registrations, you'll have a copy of that too that you can report on. You'll have more information. But whatever you guys want to report on them, you can
I'll
report
do a whole
on
separate story.
the topic today and say, hey, they're just working on a notice.
Might be better to wait about a week or two until you know what you're doing.
But
Well, one thing after our discussion next week, like Mark says, we'll have a lot more information from what we're moving ahead, so.
And to get a pamphlet, we can give you a copy of whatever pamphlet we get approved.
I'm not trying to make anything up, but I just wanted to do it the way you want it done.
If you read my article in the paper last Saturday about the meeting on Friday, Mark Wynn said there was a vast undercount of Amish in the county, in his viewpoint, from what he sees. So there's a lot of folks out there who drive the buggies.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's what he says.
I'm gonna wait.
Well, and we always want to accommodate their lifestyle and their beliefs, but when there's a direct cause and effect relationship there with what we're doing, we want to have that discussion. So,
Well, most of them have done a lot better with their lights, but I still, especially on 000 on a foggy or snowy night, there are some lights yet that are pretty faint.
all right. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Mark, did you have anything else for us?
no, I don't believe so. Do we have?
They have 3 names.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think I had anything else. Shannon, did you have anything for us?
Maybe.
That was a yes or no question.
The only thing that I was going to mention was I had emailed you guys last week as a recap of my conversation with the Wage Review Committee regarding the ADA coordinator position. So that has been finalized, it's been approved, it's on the salary ordinance, we're good to go there. So the pay effective date, should you guys decide to appoint today, would be 2/17, but if you wait until Steve is back, then we just have to push it out maybe a week or two, which is fine. So just as a reminder, if you'd like to do that today, you can, but you don't have to.
Well, I guess I'd rather wait till all three of us are here unless you have some specific action you want to take on it today.
I don't. Well, for the work you've done, and it sounds like the ball's in our court. We just need to make an appointment.
Correct. Yep, I'll put it on my list for next
So,
week.
as far as that appointment, do we want a list to work off of, or do we want to just? Have that discussion?
Yeah, I think we just have the discussion.
Okay.
Thanks.
Very good, thank you.
We have recommendations from Mayor Rickard on appointments to the health board that we need to look at today. All right.
We had 3 names.
We did.
Yeah, but this is a different.
I don't know if we want to take that today or wait on Steve.
We can If they've got a recommendation, I'm just kind of going.
They had three, so I think it's gonna be, we're gonna have to.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, they
Clayton's looked at the
Okay.
qualifications. I know you want to elaborate on that.
Well, just so based on the statute, pulled up again. And I think Mark's gone through this before, but there is a statutory enumeration, A through M, related to what the appointees may be. Maybe any of the following, a dentist, a hospital administrator, social worker, attorney with expertise in healthcare, a school superintendent, a veterinarian, a professional engineer, an environmental scientist, a physician assistant, a public health professional, including an epidemiologist. So those are nominations from the city the nominees need to fall within that category. I think it's Mark and I's opinion that,
Well, it's not well defined.
correct.
And so, yeah, I think based upon the information that we've got, it looks like out of the list that Nathan Landis would meet the qualifications. But that's up to you guys, or unless you want
What
to.
does he do? Or how does he?
I know I believe he does some excavating, but he's also a firefighter.
Okay.
And then also has familiarity with on-site septic systems and
And I think that's something that is becoming an increased emphasis with the health department, and probably we lack some expertise at that health department board.
So I think the statute itself probably at a higher up level, state level, could use some tinkering, because I think that is something that is important to have individuals like that in that department, on that board. But I think too, with the vagueness of it right now, with him being a firefighter, I think that would fall, at least to some extent, as a public health professional.
Good.
So will he fill the empty spot left by, didn't Dr. Thompson resign, or will he replace somebody that was already appointed?
no, there were two that were up. It was Dr. Lehman and Dr. Thompson. And so, the council has to fill one, and then the mayor makes a recommendation, but the commissioners still appoint. And this is the city of Decatur's mayor's recommendation, these three individuals, and we believe out of the three that he's recommended, this is the one that would,
Nathan
It's
Landis is
closest
one
to
that
the-
fits inside the
Yeah.
statute.
that's right.
Stan, I'd make that motion that we appoint Nathan Landis.
Sounds good, I'll second that.
So there had been discussion at the council meeting that Barry Shear, who is currently on the board as a commissioner appointment, could become the council appointment. I don't know if that leaves another person that needs to be appointed by the commissioners, or if that makes everything hunky-dory.
No, that makes another spot to be appointed by the commissioners.
Okay.
So we need to look at,
They stole Barry from us, or how's that work?
Well, that's what the
I don't
discussion,
understand.
the discussion was, what Julie Marie said at that meeting was,
So let them find their own nominee. We got Barry.
I mean, that was part of the discussion. But if you all keep Barry, then the council still has to make an appointment, and I forget, what's that say, the council has to?
well, but the council's appointee just needs to be a citizen.
Okay.
Commissioners.
So that gives some flexibility there.
That's correct. The commissioners the commissioner's other appointee,
Uh-huh.
okay, needs to fall within these criteria.
Oh, and Barry would fall within those criteria.
No, he does not. And so
Okay.
that's why he would be the council appointee.
Even with his licensing and public health management of wastewater treatment and whatnot.
He might, but I
He's a
mean, but
licensed
it's,
professional in that area.
it's, yeah, I don't know. We still need, between the commissioners and the council, we still need one more.
But I see the difference there, that one of those we've got a lot more flexibility with.
Yes, correct.
Council appointment.
Well, I told council last week, Barry's great on that board. I mean,
Yeah.
he really-
Oh, there's no doubt about
He
it.
is great.
Yeah, we don't want to lose him, whatever it takes to keep
Yeah,
him on that board.
the county fiscal being the council, all that they have, there's no requirement. It's just that they're a member of the general public. The commissioner's appointment, like the city's
has to fall for the list I just read.
So I don't think we need a decision on that necessarily today, but we know there's at least
I get the question. I
There's
understand
one
the
more.
question.
So, but you've got Nathan Landis appointed to fill the spot that came from the list recommended from the mayor, so.
Will we need an appointment form for them to sign next week?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Just have Brooke prepare that.
Good deal.
Hey, guys, Nathan, East for the Decatur Fire Department, DFD.
I don't know off the top of my head.
The Decatur mayor made the. I assume he
Could
did.
be, I would assume, yeah.
Okay. And also, is it 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, how many years?
I think this one's a 4.
4 years?
Yeah, I believe it's 4 also.
4 years, okay. Didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, and he might be on the Decatur Volunteer Fire Department.
I don't know him.
One of the things that I had talked about or wondered about as far as with the starting of the 5311 program, and now that we have closed on the land and we own the land on that corner, and when and where it would be appropriate to look at making any amendments to our seated plan to accommodate additional monies needed to finish that building.
Yeah.
So I don't know, if now is the time that we would address that.
I think you need to get some construction estimates, find
Yeah.
out what you're gonna need,
Let's figure out where we're at.
and then we can you can amend that capital improvement plan at any time.
But we would do that here.
Mhm.
Right, okay,
Yep.
gotcha.
So I would say get some construction estimates, kind of finalize some plans on that and find out what the cost is gonna be so that you know how much to put in, and then go to council because they'd have to appropriate funds anyway.
Sounds like Mark's real close with the drawings anyway.
Okay.
Good. All right. I didn't have anything else.
Nothing for me.
And did you want to say anything about the meetings you've been having, or?
I just give you a quick update. And I think you've been at most of the meetings, but the countywide comprehensive plan steering committee has been meeting, and we'll meet again a week from Friday at 8 a.m. Just continuing to discuss the breadth of that plan and trying to establish kind of a vision statement and even a name for the plan that we're working on. So still kind of in its infancy, but we've got about, I think about 20 individuals that are serving on that steering committee. So it's a pretty broad-based steering committee with a lot of different aspects of Adams County life represented, going well. So yeah, I think it's going well, but it's slow work.
Very good. Did you call it the Steve Bailey Comprehensive Plan?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Anything from the general public? All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.